Hi everyone! Thanks for being here with us today. My name is Julie Christopher and I'm one of the Information and Resource Specialists with Optimal Healthcare. We've created this presentation as an opportunity to answer some of the questions you may have about applying for DDA, as well as what to expect throughout the process. We've added some tips throughout this presentation that we have found to be helpful for our families while applying for and entering DDA services. We hope that these tips will help your family as well. So on this page, you can find the contact information for Optimal Healthcare. The extension listed here will take you directly to our Vice President of Community Partnerships, Carla Robeson. I would like to invite everyone to send an email to krobeson@ohc-inc.com so that we can send you a packet with some helpful handouts from this presentation, as well as answer any questions you may have. What is DDA? DDA stands for the Developmental Disabilities Administration. DDA is the primary state agency that provides funding for community-based services and supports for people with developmental disabilities. These services are designed to meet each individual's needs and choices, so that people with disabilities enjoy life in their community. DDA services are not automatically provided to those who apply. There are certain guidelines that the individual must meet. It helps to think of these more like steps or a checklist. Did the disability start before they were 22 years old? Are their limitations the result of a physical or mental disability? Is this disability likely to continue throughout their lifetime and need lifelong support on a regular basis? Lastly, would it be helpful for the individual to have coordinated care and support in a variety of areas in their life? If this sounds like your loved one, then you should get an application into DDA as soon as you can. If your family member meets the 5 guidelines that we just went over, the only other requirements are that they live in the state of Maryland and have submitted the DDA application with the required documents that will prove their developmental disability. We'll go over exactly what documents are needed with the application in the next couple of slides. While we are on the topic of who should apply, we need to talk about what we call transitional youth. This is a term that we use for individuals who are 18 to 21 years old and are in need of DDA services. Essentially, they're in the period of life where they are transitioning from school-age services into adult services. If your family member is within this age range, it is very important that their application gets to DDA as soon as possible. The application needs to be in by the age of 21 to receive services immediately following this transitional period. Otherwise, the individual would have to be in crisis to receive services. Remember, you can apply at any age, just try not to wait until last minute in case there's a hiccup in the application process. Coordination services, or case management, are available to individuals who have been approved for DDA services, but are not yet 21 or in crisis. So it's actually very beneficial to apply early and be more prepared for this transition. If you need help completing the DDA application, you can contact your child's teacher. We can also help with applying. Just jot down our contact information during this presentation and give us a call. When you submit the application, you'll need to provide as much supporting documentation as possible. We're going to talk more in detail about this documentation next, but right now I wanted to give you an opportunity to access the DDA application. If you have a smartphone, this box on the right-hand side will take you directly to the DDA application. Just open your camera and hover over it like you're going to take a picture. If this doesn't work for you, the link here at the bottom will also take you to the DDA application. We talk to caregivers every day, and sometimes we hear about things they've been told that are simply incorrect. Often, caregivers are told to wait to apply until the child is in the late teens. Now, we've discussed the importance of getting your application in quickly if you're an older teen. However, you should apply as early as you have proof of the developmental disability, which will be any of these documents that we are about to discuss. Another discouraging thing that caregivers may hear is that their loved one will not qualify, so they shouldn't bother applying. The fact is that only DDA has the authority to say whether or not your loved one qualifies. There are many factors that DDA looks at, and having the ability to complete certain tasks on your own does not mean that you can live independently without any services. If you think DDA could help your loved one, always apply. Okay, documentation. These are the things that DDA will be looking for, and of course, always add anything you think may be helpful. We would encourage you to make copies of anything that you send to DDA for your own records. The psychological evaluation that includes IQ testing and adaptive skills assessments, as well as the most recent IEP, can both be obtained through your child's school. Also be sure to include reports from any specialist that your child has seen, as well as any occupational and physical therapy assessments that describe the purpose of their services for your child. These documents should all be within 3 years to help with identifying and proving the current need for DDA services. After you send DDA the application, you should follow up to ensure that all of your documents were submitted. If someone is helping you with the application, be sure to send them the documents as well, and be responsive to their calls and emails. With your copies of the documents, you may want to create a binder to organize them. You can add tabs for different agencies involved with your child's care, or you can start right with the DDA application and add the various documents that you submitted to DDA there. Other great things to add to this binder are insurance information, SSI or SSDI documents, as well as any other benefits your child may receive. If your child is approved for DDA, there will be plenty of additional documents to add to this binder as your child enters and receives services, and it will be very helpful for you to keep it organized. If you need any help with filling out the application or getting the documents that you need, contact your child's teacher or special education program. They should be able to help you get most of the documents right there in the student's file. If there are more agencies that your child is involved in and you don't know where to start, or maybe your family member is no longer in school and you don't know what is needed, feel free to contact us at Optimal Healthcare. Our specialists would be happy to help you sort it out. Once DDA receives your application, they'll assign your case to an agency that provides case management. You will get a call from that agency to complete what is called a comprehensive assessment. The importance of the assessment is to paint a picture of your loved one. You will discuss things that the individual can do by themselves, as well as the things they need help with on a daily basis. Any behaviors that they may have, and the amount of supervision they require in different settings. These are all things that make your family member unique. This interview gives you the ability to shine a light on exactly why your loved one needs DDA services, better than documents alone could do. Be sure to be thorough with your interviewer. If there was an emergency and someone was going to care for your child or family member, what would you want them to know? You may also ask any questions you have about the DDA process at this point. You'll want to finish this interview knowing exactly what to expect next. Once the interview is complete, a typed assessment will be sent to DDA for their review. Once DDA receives the comprehensive assessment, they have 60 business days to make a decision on whether or not your family member is eligible to receive DDA services. The person who interviewed you will not receive any updates from DDA regarding the applicant's status, and they will not be notified of the individual's eligibility. Instead, DDA will send the family a packet in the mail containing their decision. If the individual is eligible for services, then the packet will contain a choice letter. Keep watching for it and make sure you open and respond as soon as you can. If your family member is eligible, they will be informed of the coordination services that are available in their area through the choice letter. Please take the time to contact these agencies. Have a conversation, see which one feels like it fits your family the best, and respond to DDA quickly. If you do not respond, you will be randomly assigned to an agency. Please remember, the eligible person has the right to choose their services, how they are delivered, and the agency who helps coordinate those services. If at any time they decide to make changes to any of those, they have the right to do so and can simply contact their assigned case manager, or CCS, to change services. Or they can contact DDA to change agencies. If your family member is not found to be eligible, you can appeal the decision, and the process for that is also included in the packet. Here's a tip for getting to know agencies. Write down some questions you have before you call them. You can even write down their answers so that you don't get confused on which one said what. Some good starter questions are listed here. How often does your staff receive training? How and when do I contact my coordinator? What if I'm not happy with my coordinator? Who can I speak to? What will you do to help me? And what makes your agency different? You'll want to make sure you like the agency's answers because you will be working very closely with them to monitor your loved one's care. Once you have informed DDA of your choice, they will assign your family member to the coordination agency that you selected. The agency will assign a coordinator of community services, or CCS, to work with your family, and they should be reaching out to you quickly. The CCS is similar to what most of us are familiar with as a case manager. You will want to be open with your CCS and allow them to get to know your family member. From this point forward, the CCS will be your navigator, advocate, and support. They will answer your questions, guide you through the maze of applications and services, and help you plan for the future. The CCS will monitor your family member's progress before and after services begin, as well as accompany you in meetings with their service providers. The CCS will also work closely with the individual and caregivers to help you come up with a plan that is person-centered and will allow your loved one to be as independent as possible with as much help as they need. The person-centered plan that you will work on with your CCS is a plan that reflects the life, needs, desires, and goals of the individual in services. This plan asks for as much input as possible from the individual in services, while also allowing for input of the family members and team. The overall goal of the PCP is to connect your loved one to any services that would benefit or interest them, including DDA and other community services. When your loved one is entering services, it is helpful to remember these few things. Please understand that providing services is challenging, and your child's provider is most likely doing their best. It may not be the same as mom and dad, but they have regulations to abide by, staff to train and supervise, activities to organize, plans to implement, and medical issues to address for every person they serve. As a family member, your collaboration, discussion, and ability to hear their concerns, as well as calmly express your own, will make a positive difference in the services being delivered. You have more information on your family member than anyone, and the providers need to learn, but they can only do so in a cooperative atmosphere. If you spot problems, make sure to inform your CCS immediately for resolution. Teach your family member responsibilities. This may sound obvious, but for anyone transitioning from teen years to adulthood, small accomplishments can make a big difference in their quality of life. Work on personal responsibilities, public contact, crossing a street, picking up laundry, or making a sandwich. Whatever skills the individual can manage will help. Once even the simplest of tasks is understood, others can be taught. Identify the best type of communication for your family member. Again, sounds simple. You will always understand them, but what can staff do to understand them better? What are the signs when they are happy, sad, angry, hungry? Seriously, make a list. To make your calls to different coordination agencies, you'll want to contact these individuals. For Optimal Healthcare, our Director of Case Management is Alexa Warrington, and her phone number and email are provided on the slide. Next, we have the Transitioning Youth Program Supervisor of Total Care, Inc., Kiara Bragg. Kathy Lang is the Supervising Service Coordinator for Service Coordination, Inc. And then we have Virginia Thorgood, the Transitioning Youth Supervisor at Medical Management and Rehabilitation Services, Inc., often referred to as MARS. Remember your list of questions when you call. For questions about the status of your application, you can reach out to the following people in the regional offices. Over in DDA Central Regional Office, we have Deborah Kronberger. Dan Sabo works in the DDA Eastern Shore Regional Office, and Lisa Jackson is in the DDA Southern Regional Office. Lastly, we have Grace McDonald working in the DDA Western Regional Office. All of the phone numbers and emails for these individuals can be found on the screen under their name. We hope you found this information helpful and easy to understand. We'd love to continue helping you, answering questions, and supporting you however we can. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can call Optimal Healthcare at 301-790-4962. Use extension 605 for our information and resource team. We're looking forward to hearing from you.